What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about the single most important tool upgrade that I have made that's made me more efficient and more profitable every single day and makes life so much easier. You will notice there is one of these under every single one of these pack-out stacks, these drawer units. It's an amazing tool addition. Time is money. And how fast you can deploy your tools and put your tools away makes a huge difference. Compounded over every single day that we work, we spend a huge amount of our time getting tools out and then putting them back away. And if you can do that faster and more effectively, your day is going to be easier and you're going to make a lot more money. There are some problems though with the tool systems that are on the market today. They have holes in the philosophies behind them. Now, this is not a knock on the Packouts, but when Milwaukee released their drawer Packouts, it revolutionized the way that we store tools because it was a much bigger drawer than we had previously, and you could access it from everywhere. So when I have these tools up against, when I'm storing them in my van on a wall, all I have to do is drop the crossbar and I can open up the drawer and get to the contents anywhere, anytime. However, the hole in the whole system right now, the thing that doesn't work very well is if you want to have drawers as your base unit, there's really nothing that you can set it on to wheel it around. If we come over here, we have the large Packout that's on wheels, and this is great, but the problem is if I want to get in here, it's kind of hard to do. This only drops so low, and I've got to take the box off of here to get in here. It's kind of a pain. You guys know this. This is nothing new. So my solution to that problem was to use a dolly. Milwaukee sells their own dolly. Now there's a couple problems with it though. One is that it's actually quite a bit wider than the Packouts themselves. That takes up more space than is needed in your work vehicle if you're going to try and set your toolboxes on the dolly. So I wanted to have a narrower profile on my dolly. That's one issue. The second problem is that while dollies are great if you're already in a job site and you can roll your tool stacks around, or you're in a shop and you want to roll stuff around, it works good, but what about whenever you need to go over rough terrain, up and down stairs, or up into your work vehicle? All of a sudden then a dolly doesn't work very good. But what does work really good is a hand truck. So a hand truck is great. You can carry really heavy stuff just by tilting it back onto the hand truck. So what I did was I made a custom dolly that would work with this specific hand truck so that I can tilt these big boxes back and I can pull them across a gravel driveway with really loose gravel. I can pull these boxes upstairs, let them downstairs, and I can pull these big, heavy boxes up and down into my work van without having to take stacks of boxes apart, without having to take the Packouts off of the dolly. So it's this system that all works together now by creating this dolly that works in conjunction with a hand truck. You will notice that the hand truck is locked in. There's a slot down here on the bottom that the hand truck will slide into. And the slot is on the front and on the back of the dolly, so you can get at your boxes from either direction. The other nice thing about this is that it locks the whole stack together with your hand truck. So this is a big old heavy stack of Packouts. I mean, it weighs a bunch. It's full. So if I'm, going around a job site and I have a regular hand truck that's just on the bottom of a stack, it would not be hard for that stack to want to fall over to either side or to flip forward on accident. But because there's actually a channel that the hand truck lip is going into, it can't go forward. See, it sounds like I'm about to break it, but it can't go forward because it's locked in. So that's something really key about this design that I found that works really good. And whenever you want to, I mean, you can leave it like that. You can wheel it around like this, so it's kind of wheeling on the hand truck wheels as well as the casters. And then whenever you're done, you know, just tip it forward, pull it out, and then you can wheel it into the job site or position it in your work vehicle right where it goes, lock the casters down, and that's it. The key to this setup is that we can get a huge amount of tools off of the work vehicle and into the job site in only a few trips. So this is 3 different sets of carpentry tools for 3 different vehicles. But in essentially 4 trips, I can have all of my hand tools and most of my consumables wheeled into the job site. And if I need to put my tools away, again, same thing. It's about 4 trips in and out. That saves a ton of footsteps. It also saves your arms because this is way easier to move a lot of weight around than trying to carry it and putting all that strain on your shoulders and elbows and wrists. And our bodies only have so much shelf life on them. Hang tight, I'm gonna show you in a little bit how to actually make your own dolly. It's actually super easy to make these, not a big deal at all. But you gotta understand the other critical component to this system is the hand truck itself. You need the right kind of hand truck. Ironically, I looked around at a lot of different types of hand trucks, and this hand truck is the perfect hand truck, and it's actually made by Milwaukee. So if you go on homedepot.com and search for Milwaukee nylon hand truck, good chance this will pop up. It's not a super popular tool, but it's perfect for this system. The tires are heavy duty. It's got a decent axle on it, but the critical part is this back right here. This will allow you to hook into a stack of packouts and pull those things up into your van, because this rides up the bumper on your van really nicely. It'll also ride up stairs really nicely. And it's plastic material, so it's gonna do a lot less damage versus metal. In my opinion, still, I mean, you obviously wouldn't want to pull this up a set of finished wood stairs. But for the job sites I'm working on, this works great. And getting up and out into the van, it works great also. Personally, it didn't take me very long in the trades to realize that having things on wheels was where it's at. Way better on your body and faster to load and unload, just much more convenient in general. The cornerstone of this system is things are on wheels and then things are accessible from the front. So you'll notice with almost all of these stacks, we have the base is built up of drawers, and then we'll utilize the very top with a lid for contents that make more sense for a larger box with a lid, such as large tools like a circular saw. It makes way more sense to have it in a box like this at the top of the stack. Same thing here. We've got a bunch of drawers with different things, drawers with bits, but then on the very top is a lid so that we can access those contents. This is ideal on the job site as well as in the work vehicle, because the same concept applies in the work vehicle. If I'm doing a quick in and out job and all my tools are in the vehicle, I can still go right into the van, open a drawer, get out what I need, and I don't have to stack and unstack a bunch of boxes to get to the stuff I need. Now, I'll caveat all of that and say, I know that some of you guys are electricians and plumbers and you're doing types of jobs where it's not practical to have big stacks of tools like this. I totally get that. This is just for a workflow like mine. It's perfect. So I'm just sharing what works for me. But I've got electrical friends who are doing service jobs where they can't be lugging around big drawer pack-out boxes like this going in and out of houses that are finished and stuff. It just doesn't work. It's kind of gross outside today, but the YouTube show must go on. The next really critical piece of my tool system is this ramp. It's not essential. You can still use the hand truck, but it does make life a lot easier. I store this thing vertically up in the front. You can watch my other van videos if you're interested in that. I'll drop a couple pins. I've got a couple holes down here just to make sure that this can't fall out, but it works extremely good to just be able to run up and down into the van, unload really quickly, and it's just easier on the knees, feet, and ankles versus doing the old, stepping up and down all day long. So you don't have to have this, but it's kind of luxury. It's nice. This is my heaviest stack of tools that I've got. It's pretty tall, big and heavy. But what I like to do is go in from the front. That way, once I'm in the van, I can just put it right into the compartment where it goes, and then the back is up against the back wall, and I can just pull the hand truck out, and it's no big deal. So rock that bad boy down, and you'll see it's pretty easy to go up and down this ramp, even with a ton of weight. I mean, this stack is extremely, extremely heavy. Go all the way back, flop it up, spin it around, push it in the opening, and again, everything's on the front now, so I can just pull the hand truck right out and move on to the next stack. We'll go ahead and wheel this back out. So, piece of cake to move a ton of tools. So now I want to demonstrate also how you can use the hand truck just to go right up into the vehicle just using the bumper. It's, you gotta be, I'm not real strong, but you have to be a little young probably to do it. And it's not super ideal with a stack this heavy, but it can still be done. Notice how those plastic guides slide up and down the bumper really easy, and it's really not that much effort. I mean, it is, but it's doable. That's the point. To pull it up, it glides really nicely. So that's the big advantage of the hand truck. Same thing going up and down steps into a house or something. Works pretty good also. So how do we make this lovely dolly? Pretty simple. You're gonna get one of these deals from Milwaukee, the Packout base piece. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. I will have affiliate links to this and the casters in the video description below. But take this, take some 3/4 plywood, and basically just cut out 2 squares of plywood that exactly match the size of this Packout piece right here. And then you can see we'll end up having it look like this, but we got a little work to do first. So 2 pieces of 3/4, and then you're gonna need some 1/2 inch thick strips. This could be wood at a 1/2 inch, it can be plywood. This is 1/2 inch plywood. Somewhere between 2.5 inches wide and 3.5 inches wide is ideal. You're just gonna take these, put some glue on them, glue them pretty good. This is just a quick and dirty demonstration. I'm not actually planning on keeping this one. 1 inch staples, 1 inch staples, take 2. I Should have mentioned, try not to nail too close to this outside corner because we're going to remove that so it matches this. Again, I'm using glue. There's going to be a lot of weight on these, so you want to do it pretty well. And we got another piece, and this is going to go right down the middle. Just going to give it a little bit more stability. See how 15 and 5/8 divided by 2. Next piece on top. This piece I need to switch our staple length to longer staples again, so I'm going to put some 1.5 staples back in here. Now we'll take our piece, take our plastic piece, put it on top of that, get it centered up, halfway decent. And then we're going to go ahead and mark the radius just on the corners. And it'll just make this so that if it runs into something on accident, it's not going to put a big old dent in something by rounding over these outside corners. If you don't have access to a wood shop, you may just have to use a jigsaw, belt sander, whatever you got access to. I would recommend going around and easing your edges with a router bit just to soften those up. If you don't have a router bit, take some sandpaper and sand the edges. At this point, should be fitting very nice. Right here, you'll go ahead and use lag screws here later on to attach it. I do like to paint mine black. I like my stacks of expensive tools to look as pretty as possible. So just taking a little bit of time, painting it black first helps enhance the beauty. And then we'll go ahead, plop it down on top after you've got it painted all black and attach it with some 1/4 inch lag screws. Note that around the perimeter, I'm using lags that are a little bit longer, and down this center section, you're going to want to use lags that are a little bit shorter. That way, you do not go down into this cavity right here. Now it's time for casters. Go ahead and use 3-inch casters. If you want, use the link, the affiliate link in the video description below to these casters that I use. I've made probably a dozen of these carts as well as other shop carts with these casters. The ball bearings are great, the brake works well, and the rubber on the wheels is ideal for inside homes on floors or in the shop. Works great, so I'd recommend these casters. Link below. You're going to want to get the casters that do have a brake for your front 2 wheels, and then for your back 2 wheels, I just use a regular caster with no brake. The reason you want to use brakes on your front 2 wheels is because you're going to be rolling this up against a wall right here or the wall on your vehicle back here, and you want these little flaps on your brakes to be able to be exposed on the front so you can just push those down with your feet and lock the unit in place and then easily pop those back up, but I don't think there's really any reason to have them on the back here. Note that whenever you're putting these casters on, the way I do it is I position the caster and I rotate it around so that the wheel is just inside the outside of the frame, going in both directions. So I want the wheel to be able to bear as much weight towards the outside as possible, but I don't want this wheel being outside of the wall here, which is going to make it bump into stuff. So that's how I position that. And then here on the front casters, you want this to be positioned so that the flap for the brake is out here towards the front so that you can engage it. Boy, as soon as I spoke highly of these casters, I see that one of these is broken. So I don't know what to say about that. that would happen right now. So yeah, anyways, position it so that your brake is accessible, but you don't really want it to be too far out. I do recommend making these in batches. If you know you're gonna need a bunch of them now and in the future, it's better than trying to have projects making these all the time. First time I did this for my first van, I made like 4 or so. Then I outfitted another van and I had to make another 4 or so. And then the last time I just made these, I was tired of making them, so I made like 6 or 7 of them. So I'm up to probably like 14 or 15 of these floating around, but they're absolutely fantastic. Pretty easy to make, game changer for moving tools around. One of the best things I've ever done, organizationally wise, efficiency wise. A+, do it. If it suits your workflow, I think it's awesome for my workflow. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been meaning to make a build video on this for a long time. Finally got to it, and I wanted to show off all these beautiful boxes a little bit too. Just kind of makes me happy seeing all these stacks together in one place. But links to everything you need to build this, link to the hand truck, link to the ramp that I use on my van. If it's still available on Amazon, I will link that up as well. Really actually pretty reasonable price on that. But thanks for watching. Hope you found this helpful. We'll see you on the next video. And as always, drop a comment below if you got any questions or just want to help out the algorithm and boost the channel a bit. So we'll see you next time.